Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Today I have another avoid and buy video and I actually really wanted to do an updated version of this, or a kind of seasonal version of this, because I did an autumn footwear avoid and buy and it ended up being a really popular video. So I thought it was time to do a spring footwear avoid and buy. So the aim of these videos is basically to save you time and money, to make sure you buy pieces that will work in your wardrobe, work well and last, rather than you kind of going shopping, being overwhelmed by the amount of things there, and then ending up buying something that doesn't really work, isn't that versatile, and you're wondering why it doesn't work. So hopefully this video will kind of break that down for you, things to avoid, and then ones to kind of replace them with instead, if you are looking to update your spring footwear wardrobe. So my first piece is the ballet flat, and I wanted in particular to talk about metallic ballet flats to start with. So my first avoid is this pair that's a little bit embellished. They're kind of like a rosy gold. They've got lots of detail on them. They've got a bow, they've got a trim detail, they've got the like kind of rhinestone embellishments on. Now I love a metallic shoe, and I'm going to show you one I would kind of replace these with instead. These just feel like there's a bit too much going on for me. Metallic speaks for itself. I think it needs to be clean and simple, and this just feels very overwhelming. There's a lot going on. They look a bit fussy, and I also think these look a little bit old-fashioned. This is kind of a style I perhaps would have worn in like 2005 or something. So I feel like we can do better with the metallic, kind of shiny looking, dressier ballet flat. So instead, what I would replace them with are these gold ballet flats from Flattered. If you follow me regularly on all my platforms, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, you'll see that I have been wearing these so much in my content. I've really been finding them useful, and what's quite funny is that years and years ago, maybe when I was about 17, 18, do you know what, I'm gonna try and find a picture. I had a pair of gold ballet flats. They were quite, let's say, a very reasonably priced pair of ballet flats, and I really got my wear out of them. I actually took them on nights out, wore them on nights out because they were a dressier pair, and they were a little bit similar to this, but this is like an upgraded grown-up version. But I wore those gold ballet flats so much. They went with everything. I felt like they elevated outfits. You could wear them in the evening and they were still really comfortable if you were standing around all evening. And then since getting these gold ballet flats from Flattered, again, they have been such a useful piece when styling outfits, putting things together and creating kind of dressier looks. And then you can really like dress them down at the same time and wear them with jeans and a simple shirt. They'd look so chic with that, and a little bit different, a little bit more elevated. There's a few reasons why I love this particular pair. One is the shade of gold. It's not like a really bright, gaudy, orangey gold, really nice, subtle gold that goes with so much. And I actually think this shade of gold pairs really nicely if you're somebody who likes to mix metals. I'm finding I'm doing that a lot at the moment, mixing my metals. And so this shade of gold looks really nice with silver. Also, as I was saying, they're very kind of clean, fuss-free. They've just got the simple bow, but they've not got much other detail going on. And this is, personally, I think this kind of metallic shade is much nicer than the previous pair. So following on from those ballet flats, I wanted to cover the Mary Janes because one, they are obviously a big trend at the moment. Two, I'm finding them so useful in my wardrobe. A bit like the Flattered pair, Mary Janes are really elevating my looks, but also very comfortable, easy to wear. I've styled them in so many ways already. Again, if you're following me on everything, you'll have seen that. If you don't follow me on Instagram, by the way, there's lots more short form content, things that you can save and use again, lots of stories with outfits. So make sure you're following me on there as well. It's at Lydia Jane Tomlinson. Anyway, back to the Mary Janes, and I would definitely avoid this pair. Now there's a lot going on again in this pair. And it's got the 3 ankle straps, the 3 Mary Jane straps to this pair, and I just think this kind of shoe can look a little bit clumpy and heavy. Again, it's a little bit fussy, and don't get me wrong, this isn't a hideous pair of shoes, but I just personally think they look a lot better and cleaner, easier to style, a lot more flexible when they've just got the single strap. I think the 3 straps can look a little bit too fussy, a little bit too detailed. And I think if you're doing this Mary Jane style, which is quite a kind of feminine, girly look, I think it's quite nice to contrast that with a more minimal take on the Mary Jane. So instead, I would go for this style, this Zara pair, which I have got so much wear out of. I actually own this pair, and they're so comfy, so easy to wear, very simple, minimal. I love the shape of them. They're super, super soft leather. Hopefully they're still in stock. If they're not in stock, I'll still link them, and hopefully they'll come back in, because Zara often bring things out again. And they've just got the very simple, subtle one strap. These ones kind of remind me of the Row ones, but obviously not the Row price tag. They just have that minimal look about them, and I find that that is a lot more wearable and a lot more versatile within my wardrobe. So if you're thinking about a Mary Jane, I think it's a good idea to get one that's as flexible as possible. So my next avoid is a slide. This pair has got so much going on with it. They look quite hard, this pair. I feel like they wouldn't be very comfortable. And I think you've got to be careful with slides that they have a bit of a softer feel to them, because it's that front bit that is holding it onto your foot. So that needs to be comfortable. I think this particular pair, they just look very solid for one, so not comfortable. But also there's so much going on with these. So they've got this kind of buckle going across the top. They've got the monogram with them. They've also got multiple colors. They've got reds going on. And I guess this is a bit of a take on Gucci, but I think it's a little bit too much embellishment, and they look a bit overwhelming, and again, just look a little bit tacky. Instead, I think if you want to go for detail, go for just one detail. Just go for one thing on the shoe. And so I've got these slides. These again are from Flattered. This video is not in sponsored partnership with Flattered, but I do work with them regularly, and I highly, highly rate their shoes. I wear them all the time. But this pair, just a simple slide, it's got the single buckle, so there's a bit of detail going on with it, but not too much. They're nice and simple with that leather as well. Let's move on to trainers, because that's something we all wear a lot. Well, I do anyway, especially in spring, because sometimes it's not warm enough to venture into the Ballet Flats and Sandals region, especially in the UK. So trainers are something that I get a lot of wear out of, and it's actually really nice to mix up your trainers, because I feel like sometimes we just wear the white ones on repeat, but actually if you're somebody who wears trainers a lot, it might be nice to branch out into slightly different variations, which is what I've actually found myself doing lately. So my first avoid is this pair. They're a little bit different. They're black with the big sole. Now, there's nothing wrong with adding some black to your trainers and moving away from the white, as I was saying. But I just feel like these, again, a little bit too heavy. They're very grounding on the foot. It's very much like your eye is drawn there. And I think it would take a lot to balance out this type of shoe. You've got the very thick platform with the white, and then that's contrasted by the very harsh black. And I think the thing to note here is that the black is all across the front, all across the shoe really. And I think it just looks a little bit too heavy for a spring trainer or even a winter trainer, to be honest. In contrast to that, I have these Adidas Sambas. I have some really similar to this, and I'm finding that I'm wearing them a lot. And they've still got the black on them. They've still got that kind of slightly different feel, but very wearable. The black is a lot more subtle here, and I think it's nice to have that beige in contrast to the black, just to give them a little bit of a lift, because I think if you have an all black trainer, I think they're so hard to style and they're so hard to wear with different pieces, whereas that beige just gives them the lift that they need while still feeling a little bit different. You've still got that black in them, which is really nice to kind of color balance with other blacks and do a bit of a color sandwich, but they just feel a little bit lighter and easier to style. Next, we are moving on to the loafer, because that is really having a spotlight at the moment. I am wearing my loafers all the time. So this is the first pair I would avoid, and it's this moccasin style. It's got a tassel on, it feels quite heavy. Again, there's nothing awful about this shoe, and that's why I kind of am showing these shoes. I just want to show that those subtle changes can make quite a big difference to how much you can style things. So these moccasins feel a little bit heavy. Again, the tassel detail I think makes them quite hard to style. I think they then become the focus of the shoe, and we don't always want the outfit to be about the shoes. It takes the eye down and detracts from the rest of the outfit, and I think they just feel a little bit fussy for me. I prefer a loafer that feels more minimal. That's just my style, but I do think these just are harder to style and match with things in general. They also look quite hard, and I think that's something to note when shopping for loafers. If they are hard and uncomfortable, you're not going to wear them, so really pay attention to what they're made of. By contrast, I'm sharing these suede leather moccasin loafers from Mango, actually. These are a little bit pricier for Mango because they're leather, so they're about $89.99, but I still think that's quite reasonable for a shoe that looks so comfortable, very easy to style. They're quite minimal and fuss-free, and I think a tan loafer like this, in contrast to the other ones which were a little bit darker, tan loafer is again easier to style, really nice for spring, and then you can wear them into summer as well, and they just give your outfits that lighter feel. There's a lot I like about these shoes. Like I said, fuss-free, I love the color, and they just look so comfortable. The shape is quite minimal too, and I also think these are a very timeless style and a very ageless style as well. I think you could see somebody who's 25 wearing these and also see somebody who's 75 wearing these, and I think that is a true representation of what timeless classic style is. So moving on to the black pointed heel, which is something I get so much wear out of, especially in these kind of in-between seasons like spring. So my first avoid is this pair. Basically, they just, again, feel a little bit heavy. They feel quite wintry, I would say. I think the block heel just kind of doesn't really work well with the pointed toe. I think the pointed toe needs something elegant with it, and I think the block just kind of stops that from happening. Also, the straps across the front very much cut off your leg. So if you're wanting to avoid that, then I would definitely avoid this shoe. These also look like they look a bit suede, and I think that just feels in the black a little bit wintry altogether, especially with the shape and style of shoe. So definitely a style to avoid, I would say, when it comes to a pointed toe heel. In contrast, I have these ones from Under the Stories. I actually own the grey versions of these, and they're very comfortable actually. They have quite a padded sole, and also they're a nice low heel, so they feel easy to walk in. These are so useful, like I said, in these in-between seasons when it's not really warm. You might not want to wear like a sandal, but you also don't want to wear like a heeled boot. This is what to go for. I wear this style, as I said, on repeat, and I love the elegant sling back of them, the low heel with the slimmer heel as well, the pointed toe, again, fuss-free. You can wear them dressed up, but you can also wear them with jeans, which is what I love about these shoes. This particular style, I feel, is very classic and timeless as well. I think I've mentioned this before about this style, but years and years ago, there is one of the famous French editors, and she's wearing these kind of shoes. And this photo in my head, it must have been about 15 years ago. And that look to me, I think she was just wearing a blazer, some baggy jeans, and these kind of shoes. And it stood the test of time, still looks really chic now. So I definitely think this style will last in your wardrobe. Finally, when it starts to get a little bit warmer and we're thinking about a heeled sandal, I love like a kind of brownie leather or something that feels quite natural because they're very easy to style. However, there are a few things I would definitely avoid. So the first pair is this very chunky kind of wedge sandal. There is so much I don't like about these shoes. This massive platform, big front platform, I just think they look so heavy, so clumpy. They weigh your outfit right down. You can't balance them out in any way. I don't even think they're comfortable either. And then also we've got the kind of embellishment on here as well. I try and stay away from too much embellishment, which kind of is apparent through the video, just because I don't think they stand the test of time. So I think these feel very clumpy. I also think this kind of cork look looks a little bit cheap. So I would definitely avoid this style if you want to go for a heeled sandal. Alternatively, I have this rusty color from Fourth and Reckless. Again, I actually own these and I did a recent styling video on Instagram wearing these shoes. They're this kind of rusty brown, will go with everything. They're simple but effective, and I love the slight embellishment on them. It's nothing too over the top. We've not got loads of buckles and different things going on. We've just got that very simple round detail on, which I think looks really nice. It elevates the shoe, but still very wearable. And also, because the rest of the shoe is so simple, just the 2 straps, I think it can take just this little bit of gold detail. I love that this just feels elegant, timeless. This shape of shoe, again, won't go out of style. Those 2 straps, one across the front, one across the ankle, make them comfortable and easy to wear. But again, like I say, just won't go out of style. This is a classic shoe shape, and I think will be very useful going into spring, summer. So that is all the shoes. I hope you enjoyed the video. Shoes are a real minefield. I know that. I know it's so hard to find comfortable shoes that look good at the same time, that go with everything. So I really hope this video has helped to break that down. If it has, do let me know. Let me know if you want to see more of where this came from. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe whilst you're still here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.